Hi, I'm Dan from the Centre for Computing History, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about this. This is a Pachinko machine. Pachinko is Japan's #1 pastime. They love it. Yearly, the Japanese people spend 200 billion on this. Now, 200 billion in 1 year, that's 30 times what is spent in Las Vegas annually. It's crazy. So, how do we play? What you do is you go to a Pachinko parlor, you'd give the man at the counter a wad of bills of real money, and in return they would give you thousands of these little ball bearings, 11mm ball bearings. And this is how you play the game. This is how Pachinko is played. So, you take your little balls, load up into the machine, and there is some skill involved. It's not just luck. There is luck certainly, but this device, this little turning device, dictates how far around the balls will go. The more you turn it, nice. So what happened there is we managed to get one of our balls into one of these special gates, and when that happens, it activates like a one-armed bandit kind of roulette wheel kind of thing in the middle here, and that multiplies your score. So as I said before, when you turn this, that dictates how far the balls want to go. Now what you want to do is you want to find the sweet spot where it lands predominantly in the middle or over a high jackpot, and you want to keep it there. But that's effort. So what people used to do, they used to take like a small Japanese coin, like a 5-yen or a 10-yen piece, and kind of just jam it in the mechanism of the dial here, and then just sit back and just like smoke and watch the machine play itself and watch your jackpot come raining through. The balls you win come back to be fed either directly into the machine to keep playing continuously, or you can dump them out and take them to the counter again. Now, seeing as gambling is illegal in Japan, there's a really cool way around this. What they've done is, so when you win your balls and you've got loads of them, you count to the counter and they count them all out. They weigh them and they say, okay, you've got this in balls. And then you say, okay, you can either choose from a selection of goods. So usually that's like home electronics. So it'll be like maybe an MP3 player, a Discman, an iPhone, something like that. You can exchange your balls for those. Or secret option B, you can exchange them for special tokens. And this is how they circumvent the gambling laws in Japan. What you can do is you can take that little token, which in theory is worthless. It's just have the proprietor's name and some sort of value or some sort of a graphic on it. You'd leave the parlour, go round the corner to a thing called a tuck shop. And these are more than likely owned by the same people who own the parlour. You can take your little medal and give it to them, and they'll give it back. It'll give you back cash, cold hard money. So technically you're not gambling because there's no real money to exchange hands. That person just bought the medal off you in exchange for a financial reward. Nice. Pachinko parlors are amazing places. You'd have rows and rows and rows of these machines. Now our machine has had a custom wooden frame built into it, but in a parlor there'd be rows upon rows of these machines, all gaudily lit, all making a horrendous racket, and of course there'll be people sat in front of them, they'll all be chain smoking. It's an amazing place, amazing and horrific at the same time. The smell of stale cigarettes and desperation everywhere. In fact, smoking is so prevalent, they even have a handy McDandy ashtray in these machines. Quality stuff. So our machine features images from Japanese folklore and Japanese culture. We have Daruma at the top. He was a monk. Daruma is interesting. You buy a Daruma doll and it has one eye already coloured in, and you set yourself a wish or a goal or a mission. And when you achieve that mission, you colour in his other eye. So presumably the makers of this machine have assumed he's made his dream come true. We have the cat asking for money. The right hand is up. We have there's some little talismans, some charms here. Have arrows aiming towards something, aiming for a success or a mission or a task you've given yourself. We have the old lady, the old crone here. We have the beautiful woman here. Masks used in traditional Japanese theatre. And yeah, fish. Harvest bountifulness. Nowadays, they're everything. You can get Silent Hill Pachinko machines, Evangelion Pachinko machines, Metal Gear Solid. In fact, there's a bit of a running gag that Konami's next big game will be a Pachinko. Rather than make an actual Metal Gear Solid, they'll make a Metal Gear Solid Pachinko, which is fairly abhorrent, I'm sure you'll agree. Pro tip, if you are going to go to a Pachinko parlor, make sure you sit at the machines right in the front door, because they always pay out way more than the other ones do. It's to entice more people in. It's quality. Right, let's have a proper go. Let's see if we can't win some big money. So you play the game, turning your knob, try and find the sweet spot. That's pretty good. Want to get it in here. Hey, like that. When it goes in here, activates. So here we want to keep it like this. I'm out of balls. Famously, Pachinko gambling, you think of organised crime, and this is entirely true. The Yakuza are heavily involved in Pachinko machines. Now, they will say that the police in Japan have been cracking down on Yakuza. Almost certainly not. That's quite impossible. So there's still a large Yakuza presence when it relates to Pachinko. So a bit more about Pachinko. It started out in the 1920s. Originally it was a kids game. It was all mechanical. And about 10 years later, they decided to make an adult version. And then, of course, Second World War happened, so everything got stopped and put on hold for a while. But after that, things went into overdrive. So not only did they come back in a big, big way, it also became a way to legalize gambling. So an interesting fact about our machine is that it was donated by Jonathan Ross. Thank you very much if you're watching. Thank you much for your donation. It's great. Okay, so this is the inner workings of our machine. Now, none of us here claim to be experts on Japanese electronics, especially in Pachinko machines, but there are a few things we think we know what they do. So here's obviously our pre-labeled reward hopper. Our balls go down here and fill through the machine. This one says payout, so it can either pay out to the front or it can dump balls back into the back of the machine here. This is some sort of microprocessor, most likely being used to power the screen, make it do crazy graphics and the like. Both outputs here. We got a clear switch, just tucked away in the corner here. This is possibly the main board. It's got the name of the game itself, which is called FIFA 12 SP. It's quite exciting. Here is most likely the sound board, because we have a volume switch here saying small, medium and large. This is quite interesting. We have some sort of serial or some sort of input-output port here. We're not quite sure what it was, but it might be connected to the aforementioned card reader. We know there was a card reader at some point because the fuse box on the left here, among the lighting and the machine itself fuses, there's a bottom fuse which is labelled as prepaid card reader. So there you go, that's how our little machine here ticks. Alright, so that's our Pachinko machine. If you ever find yourself in Japan, you're never more than 18 feet away from one of these machines anyway, so have a go, enjoy yourself, and let us know how you get on. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like our videos, and it'd be really good if you could hit that little notification bell as well, really help us out. So from me and the guys at the Centre for Computer History, see you next time.